What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Unlimited Podcast, where we help you maximize your creativity. I'm Izzy Lemons. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Unlimited Podcast. Look, my name is Izzy Lemons, and I will be your host today. Welcome to the Unlimited family. Look, this podcast exists to help you maximize your creativity. So I promise you, it's not going to feel like a waste of time. You're going to leave here with something for your creative journey, whether it's wisdom, whether it's some tips to apply to your creative processes and the way that you think and all those kinds of things, or if it's just some encouragement. We are here to add something to your life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. If it's your first time listening, as a brief introduction, I've been a creative for over 14 years, and I reached a point in my life where everything came crashing down because I didn't know who I was or what my purpose was. But now I run this thing called Unlimited Artistry, where we help you maximize your creative potential by helping you understand your purpose, unite with God's word, uncover your creative identity, and uncap your creative potential. We do all of these things to reach a state of unlimited artistry, which is using our creative gifts in the way that God intended for us to. In other words, unlimited artistry exists to walk geniuses on track for their higher calling. Look, I want you to stay tied into everything that Unlimited Artistry has to offer you. So please go follow us on Instagram at Unlimited Artistry. You can follow us on TikTok under the same name at Unlimited Artistry. You can visit the website unlmtdartistry.com. Again, that's unlmtdartistry.com. Look, I'm a musician. I got to make it a little bit rhythmic, okay? Another thing that we have as Unlimited Artistry just for you is the Creative Collective. We want you to take the guesswork out of finding a community that cares about you, that cares about your growth and your creative gifts or your creative geniuses. The Creative Collective is a community forum where creative geniuses, such as yourself, engage in conversation on creativity and purpose. Through the Creative Collective, you have the opportunity to build community amongst other creatives that are striving for their higher calling just like you. Maybe you need some encouragement on your journey. Creative Collective is perfect for that. Maybe you want to hear some other perspectives. Maybe you need some tips on your creative process. Creative Collective is perfect for that. Maybe you need some accountability for your goals. Creative Collective is perfect for that. At Unlimited Artistry, we want to make sure that the Creative Collective is full of value. So there's even a shameless plug channel where you can promote yourself, your businesses, your services, and your events that you have coming up to other creatives and get some support. Recently, there was even an opportunity presented for a videographer, and someone was able to take that opportunity through the Creative Collective. Look, don't miss out on joining the conversation today. Unlimited Artistry is the only place that Creative Collective exists, so don't miss your opportunity. Join the conversation today. To join, visit the website and click the Creative Collective tab. There you can fill in all your information and sign up. The link will be in the description of this episode, and it's also in the bio of our Instagram. So no excuses. Don't miss out. Y'all, today is an exciting day. We're launching a new segment of the podcast, and this new segment is called Unlimited Production. Music production is a main foundation of Unlimited Artistry. Look, all creativity is important, but this is our strong suit. The purpose of this new segment is to share exactly what Unlimited Artistry is doing on a creative level and tell the story. This segment is purely for educational purposes. So if you have questions, join Creative Collective and you can hit me personally and ask me anything about them. So for the first time ever, we're going to dive into a song that Unlimited Artistry has produced. And the first one that we're going to do is called Trying by Sade Marie. Here's a clip.
Can't you see that everything she do is fine? Better get up before she catch somebody's eye. Cause I know you know she knows you know she's fine. And you don't even need a million reasons why. Feel like your heart is dry.
I hope that you enjoyed that brief clip. You can check the full song out. The link will be in the description. But this was fully produced, recorded, mixed, and mastered by Unlimited Artistry. Every part of this record was produced in headphones in an untreated room. This song is a pure example of using what you have to make something great. This song was recorded and fully completed within 48 hours total. This was during the pandemic, so, we had time. We made the decision to do something just for fun and put it out. So we released it on Christmas of 2020. We both had a great hand in the lyrics, but my wife is a lot better with lyrics and singing than I am, and that is why I focus on the production end. My favorite part of this record, aside from my wife, because she's just my favorite person and she's just so ridiculously talented. My favorite part of this record are the drums and the 808. I used this record to kind of experiment with some of that trap R&B feel that kind of reminds me of like Summer Walker, Kalani, and those kinds of sounds. A fun fact about me, I really don't find portable production the best for a final product, but this is one of the situations where we made it work and it came out pretty great. It worked well. I realized that for it to work, it starts in my own mind. I can't set myself up to think that it's not going to work. So that's something I learned from doing this project as well. Look, based on what you heard today, if you would like Unlimited Artistry to help bring your musical vision to life, visit the website. We offer music production, mixing, mastering, and guitar tracking, all of which you've heard examples of in this one record. So that has been our first Unlimited production segment. Thank you for listening to that. So now we're going to get back into the regular flow of things. One thing that we say often at Unlimited Artistry is that we want to maximize our creativity or uncap our creative potential. If you don't really know what that means, it can sound like another language, as I refer to as UA-nees. But generally, it's us using our creative gifts and our creative talents in the way that was intended for us when they were placed inside of us. So what are some signals or some symptoms that would show us that we need to take the steps to uncap our creative potential? Well, number one, if you don't have a mentor or a leader to glean valuable information from, that's a signal. Maybe you're just trend hopping or going after opportunities strictly for the financial gain, or you're not aware of the opportunities that exist for you. Have you ever felt envy when others succeed and take opportunities? That's definitely a signal as well. Maybe you've uncovered your creative identity, but if there's no positive product after that, there's something that's missing. Listen, you need to uncap your creative potential. It's necessary. It's important to getting to a place where your genius can produce something for your life. Let's be real. God intended for us to gain something from these creative gifts that he's placed in us. They weren't just placed in us just to sit there. If we look at Exodus, I believe it's in Exodus, when the creatives are building the temple and they're using all these different materials and God gave them vision and the resources, like more resources than they even needed. There was a real product that came out of that. Your creative gifts, your creative genius is not just meant to sit inside of you and not produce anything. So today I want to give you 3 areas to focus on to uncap your creative potential and put yourself in a position to succeed with your genius. Those 3 areas are information, mentorship, and opportunity. All of these tie into one another, and I'll dig into that once we get into it. If you're in a position to take notes, please feel free to. And I'm sure that somebody else would benefit from you sharing your notes as well. A productive way to listen to this is to think about how many ways that you can apply these principles and concepts to your own creative journey. So, the first area of focus is information. There's so much information out there. We are in the internet age. So if there's something that you don't know, it's because you've chosen not to be educated on it. We've reached a point in time where college is not even really about the information. You can find that same information out there, whether you read the books or search the internet. it's out there. So in regard to your creativity, it's important to find new information to include it into what you do. That's how you expand your perspective. That's how you expand your execution. That's how you expand different aspects of your process. I think it's wildly important to include space during your week to learn new things. So one of the strategies I use is dedicating each day to a specific topic that I want to become more versed in based on the day of the week. Mondays, I learn about biblical concepts. Tuesdays, I learn about leadership. Wednesdays, I learn about music. Thursdays, I learn about business strategy, and Fridays I use for finance. Now, you don't have to start with these exact categories, but it helps to pick what you want to learn on each day and really focus in. That is how you'll gain the information that you want to know. Information is crucial because it could even help us prepare for what is to come in our creative field. So if I'm aware of the different types of technology that are involved in creating music or making the creation of music or the distribution of music easier or more profitable even, then I'm going to use that information to change my process and execute so that I can receive the benefits of what comes from that. If we look at Proverbs 18, verse 15, it says, "An intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge." Ignorance at this point in history is a choice. So go out, seek it. I know you have a library around you somewhere, but at the very least, you have a phone, a smartphone in your hand where you can access worlds of information based on your field. I would highly recommend that you find like some sort of resource, a website. Like for me, as a producer and musician, I like musictech.com. Whatever your website or resource is, sign up for the mailing list so that every morning or at least once a week that you see something in your inbox that inspires you to read and learn something new from these resources that you have access to. Choose knowledge, choose wisdom, learn some new information, and use it. So the first area of focus when uncapping your creative potential is information. The second area to focus on when uncapping your creative potential is mentorship. Proverbs 9:9 says, "Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase in learning." Proverbs 13:20 says, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm." There is nothing better than gleaning valuable information from a trusted leader. As a matter of fact, this is how mentorship and information tie together, because with the right mentor, you'll gain a lot of valuable information. Now, this information won't just be based on statistics or technical things, but it'll also be based on their experiences that they'll openly share with you. Now, there are some people that will lead you from a distance as well. For example, I'm a huge fan of Kanye West. I love how he approaches music production and collaboration with others. Now, I don't have the opportunity yet to sit right under him and get personal lessons from him, but I find as much information as I can online about his process. I find videos and stories of people that have worked with him in that aspect. Let me tell you, I've learned so much just from doing that if I were to get in the room with him, I would have a list of questions that go beyond surface level. And honestly, I think I would have a general understanding of how he works. My entire point in this is just to say, find somebody to learn from. Information is great, but when it comes with a person, that makes it even better. There are 3 guys that I consider foundational to what I know about music and creativity to this day. Those 3 guys are David James, Wes Watkins, and Larry Mack. I've known them for over 10 years at this point, and they still impart so much wisdom to me just about what we do as creatives and what we do as musicians. Dave has taught me a bunch about tone and music production, and he's actually the reason why I'm such an avid Studio One user. Larry Mack taught me a lot about music and the art of practicing, really. Larry Mack also is one of the guys that's expanded my musical taste, like in what I listen to for enjoyment. Wes Watkins has taught me a lot about live music and how to direct a show to keep an audience engaged. He's also an amazing drummer, one of the best in my opinion. So that means he's also taught me how to count. These three guys have contributed so much to my creative journey that I would not be where I am today without these three constantly showing me new things and bringing me along when they have something that they're a part of that they want me to see and learn from as well. Now, another side of this, mentorship is not just for you to receive, but you should also be pouring back into somebody. Do you want to be in a position to gain more information? Give the information that you already have out. We're not here just to be served and to be poured into, but as we get poured into, there's some wisdom that we need to pass on to the people that are coming behind us. I'm sure you probably have some younger homies that you see around that do what you do. They're interested in the things that you're interested in, but they may not have as much information as you do. I want to challenge you right now to invite them into your space, invite them into your world, and give them information that they may not even have access to yet. If we continue to pass on this wisdom, we can guarantee that there will be growth in creativity and growth in the people around us, all just based off of sharing information. Maybe you're still not convinced about this whole mentorship thing. This is the perfect opportunity to get poured into as you pour out into others. Having a good teacher can not only make certain concepts and lessons more palatable and easy to understand, but it can also help you to avoid certain traps and falls and failures that they've already gone through. And here's an additional tip that I've been learning. When you have a leader and they give you instruction, make sure you follow it and don't have to be told twice to do what they're saying. Now, hopefully you don't have this type of leader, but if they say go stand under a tree and spin around 4 times and you'll get a new idea, or that'll help your song sound better, do it, try it, let them know, hey, I did this and this ain't work. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but make sure you apply it and you show them that you're applying it. Nobody wants their time, their words, or their energy wasted. So make sure the people that are pouring into you don't feel like you're just a waste of their time. Now, mentors, let's not be jerks when we have people that are learning from us. Just as we've received this information, we should also give it freely. Another thought, you can't mentor somebody if nobody even wants to be around you to learn from you. Just a thought. So how do you go about finding someone to mentor you or to lead you in your field of creativity? Start by finding out where people with the same gifts as you or similar gifts as you hang out. What kind of events do they go to? Where do they all hang out? Another great place to start is to search where you want to be. If you know that your favorite producer likes to record at a specific studio, find your way around there. Another example of this is golf. I know plenty of people who have picked up golf as a hobby to get in the same space as people with influence. Some people with influence or leaders in our creative fields, they like to collect certain things. So maybe you'll find yourself in a convention or some sort of trade location, wherever it is. Find out where they are. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't become a stalker, but search in the places where you know the people that you look up to are going to be at. Musicians, I'm going to give you a tip. The right person to learn from is probably not casually and regularly hanging out in a guitar center. That probably means they got more build and skill, but that's another note. Maybe you could even find a workshop where somebody is teaching your craft. Go, learn, invest in learning more of your craft, and then introduce yourself. When you do, be genuine. Be very clear about your intent, but be very intentional about showing them how serious you are about learning from them. I mean, like when they speak, take notes. If they recommend a book, Just go straight to Amazon, put it in your cart, or however you consume books. It's also really great to have questions prepared just in case you get the space. I am really giving y'all the cheat codes. Another thing that I've learned, you want to add value to a leader's life. You don't want to be somebody that just takes and takes and takes and takes. There is a value that you add to everyone that you interact with. So add that value to that leader's life. I think sometimes because it's somebody that we want to learn from, we don't see the value that we could possibly add to their lives. But you have value. Let's look at the story of David. Before he was anointed king, he was a shepherd in the field, in his father's field. Samuel came to anoint him as king. And from that point, he went to serve Saul, who was still the king at the time until David's time came. Anytime this spirit came upon Saul, David would play the harp and it would soothe Saul. That was the value that David added. Though even his father didn't see his full value because he didn't even consider him a son worthy to be anointed king over the other 7 of his brothers. The point is, whether you see it or whether others recognize it or not, you have value that you can add to someone else. So do it anytime you get the chance to. Seek out young creatives that you know may not be where you are, that you can pour into, that you can give information to, that you can share your stories and experiences with so that they know what not to do and don't have to go through the same experiences and situations themselves. It'll save a lot of time and a lot of heartache for them in the future. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 7 says, "Remember your leaders, those who spoke to you the word of God. Consider the outcome of their way of life and imitate their faith." To those 3 guys, David James, Larry Mack, and Wes Watkins, I want to publicly say thank you for every bit of wisdom that you've imparted to me. Every time you've brought me into an opportunity that you had so that I could just watch and learn. All the gigs, all the studio sessions, all the writing sessions, like they've meant the world and they've done so much for me. So thank you. All right, y'all not gonna get me crying up on here. I ain't playing with y'all. So the second area of focus when uncapping your creative potential is mentorship. The third and final area of focus is opportunity. Now, I want to clarify something at this point. By the time you begin to uncap your creative potential, you should already have some sort of understanding of your purpose and know your creative identity. What makes you different? What is your special superpower? What is the special part of your genius? These 2 details will help you understand and unlock what opportunities are right for you. You can't take every single opportunity that might be presented to you because every single opportunity may not be right just for you. It may be a better fit for somebody else. For example, say maybe you get a client and they give you their vision and you're not really the best at what they're asking for. Maybe it's just not really your thing, but because the money looks good, you attempt to take a stab at it. What happens now? The integrity of the project is ruined. Not only that, but you create a bad experience for the client, and bad experiences spread way faster than good experiences. Trust me, I know. Not every open door is a door for you. And this is where all 3 tie together. When you have the appropriate information on what you do, and you even have a leader or a mentor that can help you make decisions on what opportunities you should take, it becomes really hard for you not to at least get close to the target of accomplishing your purpose. Your leader or your mentor should be very familiar with your purpose and the audience that you're called to, and even have the permission from you to speak into it and call it out in you. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with some of my leaders where they've told me, yeah, this ain't a good idea, bro. And what did I do? I listened, and I'm seeing the benefits of it. On the other side of this, these mentors have given me many opportunities that fit who I am and my higher calling. Have you ever taken on a client or an experience or a gig or whatever, and midway through you realized this is not for me? How draining was that project? How long did it take you to crawl to the finish line? Let me ask you another question, because I understand this too. When is the last time you looked back at what you did? Do you even care about how it turned out? Like, I get it. Sometimes we take on the wrong opportunities and it just becomes more of a taxing experience than something that is fulfilling. For us to uncap our creative potential, it's super important for us to have some sort of understanding of our purpose and knowing what our creative identity is, what makes us special, what makes us different. If I'm generally more skilled at writing comedy, I probably shouldn't take the opportunity to write a romance or a horror film. Something that I learned from Larry Mack. Know who you are, know who you're not, and make a decision. Another thought. Don't let money be the motivator behind why you take an opportunity. I know some of us work on hourly rates, and I can personally say I'm not a huge fan of that, but I don't think that it's really healthy to put a dollar sign on what your time is worth, because not every minute or every hour is worth the exact same. If you want to challenge that thought, we can talk about it in the Creative Collective, but I'm pretty firm on that. You can try to change my mind if you'd like. Purpose should be our main motivation for every opportunity we take. Here's some questions to kind of analyze whether this is the right opportunity for you or not. Does it sound enjoyable? When looking at the finished product, is this something that represents me and my brand well? Does this get me one step closer to accomplishing my purpose? Does this speak to the audience that I'm generally targeted towards? Will this be worth the time and the energy that is necessary to bring it to completion? And lastly, am I being appropriately compensated for what it'll take to do this? And this doesn't just mean money, but is the experience or exposure going to be worth it? I want to challenge you to put those questions up against an opportunity that you wish you hadn't have taken. As you begin to understand your purpose and your creative identity and get around leaders who can speak into you and teach you new things and present you with new opportunities, if you had experienced any of those symptoms or signals that we talked about at the beginning of this episode, you should see those pop up a little less frequently over time. As you uncap your creative potential, you'll become a lot more confident in what you do and what you offer. Through putting your focus on these areas, you should experience some growth, some prosperity, and at least some forward movement when it comes to your creative journey. You should notice that in times when you would usually be envious of others getting opportunities, you'll cheer a little bit louder for them in those moments because you know that not every opportunity is for you. You may even notice that as trends happen and go by, that you're not just trying to go with the flow and hop on the next hot thing, but your feet are planted in what your specialty is and where your purpose lies. You're no longer fighting for the attention of everyone, but now you're focused on the attention of the audience that aligns with your purpose. At Unlimited Artistry, our heart is for you to see that side of your creative potential, to see the growth and to see the opportunities fly in. And not just any opportunity, but opportunities that fit your purpose and your creative identity. Just a couple weeks ago, we saw an opportunity presented in the Creative Collective. It was specifically for videography. Thankfully, it's a community of creatives, so everybody knows somebody, or that somebody might even be in the Creative Collective. The videographer responded and took the opportunity. That is how being in community works. One of the things Unlimited Artistry is passionate about is seeing you maximize your creativity and take up opportunities that are just right for you. An opportunity that we believe is just right for every creative is joining the Creative Collective. I know I talked about it at the beginning of the episode, but I want it so badly for you. So I'm gonna tell you about it one more time. The Creative Collective is a community forum where creatives can engage in conversation on creativity and purpose through their creative gifts. In there, you can ask questions, share experiences, and talk about the things that affect you as a creative. There's even a space where you can plug yourself, your services, or any events that you have coming up. The best part about it is that it's 100% free, so don't miss out. Join the conversation today. To stay locked in on everything Unlimited Artistry, you can follow us on Instagram at Unlimited Artistry. You can follow us on TikTok under the same name at Unlimited Artistry. And you can visit the website, which is UNLMTDartistry.com. Again, that's UNLMTDartistry.com. I told y'all, I'm a musician. I got to make it a little bit rhythmic. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode. This has been the Unlimited Podcast.